I've come across a problem, and some of you may have come across the same problem, that you've put a lot of work into a new module, and then at some point you open up your course and that new module is gone. And the work you've put into that is gone. So I want to show what has likely happened and ways to avoid it and maybe recover some of your material. So if you have brought in the module template from the Commons, and this only applies if you've brought stuff in from the Commons. If you're losing modules and you haven't used the Commons, let me know, because then it's a different issue. But if you have used the module template from the Commons, then pay attention. So here's that module that I've brought in from the Commons, and let's say, okay, I want this to be my week 3. So this is what I have been doing. I was just saying, okay, week 3, renaming it, update the module. I don't use weekly activities, so I remove that. Okay. I'm going to start putting in my agenda here. So I'll edit it. Let's see, week 3. Here are my dates. For now, to save time, I'm just going to put in just some pretend text. So here's our week 3 agenda, and I'll put in a picture just so I can quickly see later what's happening. What's on my desktop? We'll find a picture. Okay, something about potatoes. Great. Submit. Okay, so now at least I know I have modified this page, and I'm going to go down here and save my page. And let's go back to modules. So now I have my week 3 module, and I have at least one thing here that that I have changed within the template. And let's say I'm also just going to add an assignment. This is a new assignment. Read page 43. I'll add the item just so it's there. And let's say that's for this day. I'm going to increase my indent. Okay, so I've set up, let's just say I've set up my entire module. Wonderful. That week's done, and I go in, I want to grab my next module so I can start working on next week. So I go into my Commons, and I'm going to filter templates, Forest Ridge. All right, so here's my module template, and I go to import it into that class. Great, so now I'm going to go back to that class. All right, and go to my modules. And lo and behold, my week 3 module that I have just set up is gone. It's been overwritten. Notice though that that new page that I had made, that new assignment, does still exist. It didn't overwrite new content. It just overwrote content where I had used the template and modified pages in the template. So that is super frustrating. Maybe I've spent hours on my agenda page or my overview page. You may be able to recover some of that. So if you click on that page that you had done that work, and it's now gone back to the template version, if you click on edit, you may get this auto-saved content. If this happens, you can preview it if you want. I know it's going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes. And now it has inserted my new content, which is great. So I can save that. And so if I go back to the module, but this is frustrating. We don't want that to happen. So what you need to do instead is either just create your own module from scratch each week. It's not difficult. If you go up to the blue button right here, plus module, we can just say, week 3. And, I would have to enter that. It's just I've entered it so many times now it auto fills, but I can enter that and add the module. And it'll show up here at the bottom. And then I can add a text heading if I want. So I might say week 3 overview if I want that. Add the item. And then I can just go in where I normally do and, copy the agenda template up here and put it down there into that module that I have just created. So that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is if you've imported that module template, don't do anything to that template. You can delete stuff, but don't modify any of those template pages. Instead, go over here to the 3 dots and duplicate it. So now I have a duplicate with copies. And if I can go ahead and I can modify these, so I can edit these, and this is where I'm going to put my week 3 module, and then my new agenda. I'll go ahead and edit this agenda, and then it's ready to go. And that one will not get overwritten. So the key here is if you use that template, that module template from the Commons, don't modify it. Just use it as a sort of shell for yourself and duplicate that template module that's living inside your modules. Duplicate that each week. So you're going to want to unpublish it because you don't need your students to see it. You will, once you set up the copy of it with all of your content, then you can publish that for your kids.